Hello everyone, welcome to Salesforce Helping Hand channel. My name is Rahul Prajapati, and let's start with one of the waiting interview question and answer. So before couple of days, one of my student face interview in IBM, and he shared with me some questions which I'm going to share with you. So basically, he face interview with the 4+ years of experience in IBM, and he cleared first round, which was the technical round. Okay, let me share my screen and share the questions with you. Okay, let's start, guys. So I have bunch of questions which I'm gonna share with you. So the first question was they asked, I'm not going to, in introduction parts. So you are, very pretty much aware about it. Like that is the part of each and every interview. Okay. So I hope like you all are aware and you are make yourself ready for the introduction part. So I'm just not going to discuss that question and again because there are a lot of videos which are coming soon. Okay. So let's start, guys, with first question. So the first question they ask, what is an example of Salesforce API and how it used? So the answer for this question is the REST API allow you perform CRUD, means create, read, update, delete operation on the Salesforce data by sending HTTP request, get, post, patch, delete. Okay, it is beneficial for modern applications, mobile app, and third-party integration. Okay, so example, create a contact record. So basically, what you have to do, you have an endpoint URL, which is nothing but Salesforce endpoint URL, and on each object, contact object. Okay, so you just passing this parameter like this in JSON format, right? So first name, last name, email, and the phone number. So whatever are the required field, we are passing like that. Okay, so this is the example how we can send it to third part, I mean HTTP request, and we can create, update, delete, record, whatever operation we want, we can make like that. Okay, so the second question, how will you integrate with the multiple external system more than 10 at a time after the record is created or updated in Salesforce? Okay. So basically the question is, how will you integrate with a multiple external system more than 10 at a time after record is created, updated in Salesforce? Okay. So basically, there are a couple of ways you can achieve this. Platform events, middleware, Apex asynchronous callouts, outbound messaging, and event-driven architecture. So guys, make sure please go through each and every topic in detail. So they maybe ask you the questions, right? Because when you give the answer, so there may be a possibility counter questions can come, right? So that's what I'm just asking you to make sure you should have the understanding of each and every topic. I'm not saying like just go and read in detail, but you should have the understanding. Let's say they ask some questions, so you should be able to answer their counter questions. Okay. Now, the next question, any project you would like to redo, what went wrong with the project? So basically, they want to understand in your past project of experience, if you make any kind of, that implementation and that gone wrong. So you are not able to execute in proper implementation, whatever as per the requirement. But make sure you should be very careful here and how you will implement it then, and then how you redo that particular work, right? And your steps should be kind of technical, it should be technical sound, right? So let's discuss in one of the example. In one project, we implemented a Salesforce integration with an external system using a real-time REST API call out and trigger by record update. The challenge arose when the volume of updates increased significantly, causing the frequent governor limit violation and slower performance. So that may be the cause, guys. Sometime you have a lot of records to needs to process, and you write a trigger for that. There may be multiple things, as Salesforce always follow the governor limits, right? So you always keep in mind governor limits. So what's went wrong? we understand that scalability need of integration. Real-time API callout were not ideal for high volume transactions. Error handling was insufficient, leading to data inconsistency when failure occurred. Okay, what I do, I would use middleware, example MuleSoft, to handle the high volume of transactions asynchronously, or shift to platform event-based architecture to decouple Salesforce and the external system. This approach would enhance scalability and reduce load and provide better error tracking. Okay. Now the move to next question. So this question is very common. It can be asked, many interviews. I also take interview and I ask these questions many folks. So what are the name credential, custom setting, and custom metadata? Name credential simplify the process of making authenticated call out to external system. The store the URL, the external endpoints, and the authenticate details. Example, username, password, authentication token. If integrating with an external API, name credential eliminating the need to manually handle authenticate logic in Apex. Okay. So guys, I'm explaining these details, but make sure you should have, very careful understanding on this. I mean, very, depth, no depth, but you should have the, good understanding, like what these topics are and what these topics do in Salesforce, right? So custom setting are used to store static data that can be accessed across the Salesforce work without consuming SOQL limits. Sometimes they ask you these questions like, this, what are the things in Salesforce which is not consume the SQL limits? Type, list, custom setting, org wide data, and hierarchy custom setting. Okay. So use custom setting to store text rate or API keys that may vary by user or org wide. Now the term is custom metadata. Custom metadata is similar to custom setting but designed for configuration and deployment. Metadata records can be deployed between org using changes sets or packages. Example, use custom metadata to define business rule or mapping, such as a discount rule or integration field mapping that needs to be consistent across environment. Key difference. So guys, what are the key difference? So custom metadata is deployable and preferable for configuration. Custom setting are ideal for non-deployed user-specific preference. Name credential focus on simplifying external system authentication. Okay, so these are the key difference. Okay, so they are asking this question. This is the scenario-based question. What will be the result for following code if there are two accounts with the name patient account? Select ID from account where name ABCC. Query exception will throw. Okay. How would you ensure data integrity and prevent error in large data migration? For large data migration, it is essential to validate data before and after migration. I would start by profiling and cleaning the data to ensure it meets Salesforce format and validation rules. Then I would use sandbox environment to test the data load process using tools, data loader definitely, and ETL solutions like that. Setting up triggers, validation rule, and automations only after data loading, prevention unnecessary validation error. Okay. Finally, I would implement post migration reconciliations reports to verify data consistency or integrity. Now move to the next questions. Describe a scenario where you would need to use platform event in Salesforce integration. How would you implement it? So that may be very, guys, might be you use it or you did not use it. So you can give the answer according. That doesn't matter. You have to give the answer. Okay. But make sure, even you are saying you did not implemented it, but you can say, yes, I just completed some trailheads and I have the knowledge for this, but couldn't get the chance to exactly work in the live project. Okay. So platform event are useful in real-time integration scenario where the different system or Salesforce org need to be communicate asynchronously. For example, let's say we need to sync customer order data account multiple Salesforce org. When a new order is placed, a platform event could be published and subscribing system, other Salesforce or external other service can listen for this event react accordingly, implementing this request, defining a platform event schema in Salesforce, writing a code to publish the event, and setting up the subscriber like triggers, flow, external systems using the string API to listen and process the event. Okay. So now the next question is, let's suppose you are getting in too many SQL queries, 101 error occur in the test class while you are deploying the changes in higher environment. How would you fix it? So guys, this is, I personally, write these questions because I also asked these questions couple of interviews, and this is also asked by IBM interviewers. So bulkify your code, use maps and efficient data retrieval, reduce data volume in test, use test.start and test.stop. So basically, if I'll give you the live practical example for this. So basically we have one LWC component. On that LWC component we are having Apex class, and that Apex class is too much heavy, right? So many features are there which we are working on, opportunity and court line, and so many backend things are going on to click on that button, right? So basically what was happening while that class, test class is getting even SQL 101 is because governor limits are hitting, and whenever court lines are get created, and there are Salesforce CPQ package as well. At the same time, we also executing our methods, triggers. So that's what you have to make sure order of execution here. That's what you have to play, and then you can save such problems. And definitely system.run as can help us and specific profile which you are going to execute that scenario maybe help you. Okay, so these all very basic points can help you to avoid that SQL 101 error. So check for unnecessary queries is manage package, right? So refactor and optimize the test method. So these all are very basic things. Now come to the what is JWT flow in Salesforce? This question is, very rarely asked, but yes, you should aware about it. What is do, right? I have given you answer here as well. And if you want to go to read in depth, you can also go and read it, guys. Okay. Ex Please explain any latest Salesforce updates you implemented for your project. So Salesforce, as you know, in a single year, Salesforce have a three release, right? Winter, summer, and spring. Okay, so these three releases are there, and Salesforce always have couple of things. Always there is something new, and there is so many updates are there earlier where we are using that, but you got some new features. So definitely couple of things come out in terms of flows, right? Earlier we don't have that much capacity in flows, but right now you flows are very rich and you can do so many things, right? And yes, after AI is coming out, and you can see data cloud, and so many things are there in Apex class as well. Couple of things also come, locking system comes, so you can explain as per the your implementation. If you need, I can create one video. You can just comment it out to the video. I can create, I can make one video, and you can just go and in details. Okay, how would you restrict it in Aura component to be use the record page only for a particular subject? So restricted to record page is add this in the component or XML. So you have to read this, you have to implement this like this, and you have the JavaScript code, right? In your JavaScript code, and then you have your Apex controller. Okay, so like that you can, what we want to do here for a particular subject. So that's what you can get state success, and then you are getting the value. If it is subject does not equals to allowed subject, then component set we restricted true. Okay, that's what we are doing here. How to get the current username and current user profile in the Aura component without using Apex. You can get the current username and profile name in the Aura component without using Apex by leveraging the dollar user info global value provider. Okay, what is the use of middleware app guard in enterprise context? Key use of middleware in the enterprise context is we use it in Application integration. Second is data consistency and transformation. Third one is API management and service. Okay. And fourth one is message queuing and event driven processing. Fifth one is security and access control. Sixth one is scalability and load balancing. And seventh one is logic monitoring and error handling. So these all are the part of middleware. Why we use the middleware in Salesforce? Okay. What are the some common patterns in avoid CPU time limit exceed error? Salesforce impose a 10,000 ms millisecond CPU time limit per transaction. So optimize is a key here. Some best practices. What you needs to be do? Bulk processing. Avoid SQL DML inside the loop. Process record using a collect. Okay. Collection, sorry. So here is an example. Sometime we are using like this, but we should not do. We should collect a particular record in a collection, and then we update it in bulk. Okay, SQL aggregation reduce query using group by. Okay, so like this you can reduce some queries, map and set for fast lookup, avoid redundant queries by caching data. Okay, so definitely you collection is a very very important. If you know how to use collection, then that means you have learned 70% Salesforce. That is nothing, in Salesforce. If you have learned 70% Salesforce, that means you know how to use collection in Salesforce. That is a very important part, guys. Okay. Custom metadata for configuration, prevent recursive trigger execution, use static sets to track process records. What if you still hit the limit despite optimization? It if still persist, what we need to do? Reevaluate the logic to reduce unnecessary, computations. Split transaction using batch for large data processing, leveraging platform events for asynchronous handling. Okay. Now, explain how would you use dynamic form in Salesforce? Different user profile. Dynamic form allow admin to create a flexible user specific page layouts for a dynamically showing or hiding fields based on the record data, user profile, permissions, user how would use them. So first thing is field visibility based on the user profile. Okay, so you can use like that. Second is condition field display based on the record data. Third one is profile based on sections customizations, and fourth one is reducing page load timer and clutter. Okay, now the next question is how would you troubleshoot and resolve issue with Salesforce integrations using REST API? Troubleshooting Salesforce REST API integrations require a systematic approach. Here is how I handle common issue. What I do: check API call logouts and debug logs. Issue: API requests are falling with error. Solution: go to the user, debug logs, event monitoring, API logout, and check the integration user login history for authenticate failure. And you can use the workbench as well. And then, verify, authenticate, and auth issue, right? So this is what you can do. And now the next questions we come to is what is Apex governor limit and how do you ensure code compile with them? So all of you are aware about the Apex governor limit. Many times you got this question, and this is a very important question which is asked each and every interview, guys. Okay, so make sure like some important things when you are experienced guy, you should not tell them very very order of execution and all. You have to tell them right figures, scenarios where you face the issue, how you'll fix it, right? Something like that, which will make you the practical instead of such theoretical knowledge. Okay, so you can give to how you can reduce basically loop inside 100 SQL limit error, bulkify, your SQL queries, your code, optimize DML operation, avoid DML inside the loops, blah, blah, blah. Use collections, reduce heap size, optimize memory uses, right? So that's what it can help you, right? So use asynchronous processing for large operation, implementation, error handling, that is very important, and limit monitoring. So limit monitoring is nothing but it will tell you where you are exceeding your queries, your DMLs, so many things in your code. So you should use it. This is exactly will measure your code, where your code is going to be, you know, hit the limits, right? So what are the capabilities in LWC? Enhancing user experience, which is, enhanced debug tools, improved conditional rendering, DOM element referencing, data synchronization without page refresh, component level API version, modernized user interface design. Okay. So guys, describe your approach to managing code deployment and CCID in Salesforce. This is for you. Okay. I would wait for you how you will be, commented out for these questions. How would you handle data masking in Salesforce for data security and compliance? Salesforce will and data masking for, full sandbox. We use random masking, pattern-based masking. We use null set audit. Okay. Field level security, definitely an object level security is very important, and prevent unauthorized access to sensitive fields. Restricted access field profile permission set, sharing rules. Example, hide salary field from the non-HR user, right? So go to the employee field level security, restricted salary fields. And Apex based custom masking, complex scenarios. So something like that you can do. Asynchronous processing options in Salesforce, future methods, queuable Apex, batch Apex, suitable Apex, platform event, change data capture. So these all are the what it asynchronous process options we have available in our Salesforce, right? So basically, you have to choose the right synchronous solution for your problem. You have to understand what exactly your problem is and how it can be fixed to a particular way to a synchronous solution, because we have a couple of solutions. So you have to look forward what kind of problem you have in your business and how you can fix it. So let me again go to that page. Sorry guys, I was missing something. Okay, let's start with a. So we are here, use batch. So we are saying is processing a million of records, handling large queries while avoiding governor limits, running jobs in parallel for performance optimization. When we should use schedule apex, we should use schedule apex, running automation time-based, example, night updates, scheduling page jobs in run all fixed intervals, use platform events for CCD when you need a real-time data sync across systems. Deoccupied event driven architecture is required. So again, this is same best practices, bulkify code, monitor async job, handle governor limits, retry mechanism, transactions control, how to automatically update the UI based on user input. Okay. So use track and then use wire apex method, ensure UI refresh data changes, right? So this is something you can go and check, guys. What is disconnected callback in WC and how it is used? This question will be very, very important and maybe ask you. I mean, all the methods are very important. So they can ask you each and every method. They can even ask you like how you implemented it, right? So they can ask like that. So you can give the answer. A disconnected callback is a lifecycle hook that execute when a component is removed from the DOM. Okay, it is commonly used for clean up a task such as unsubscribing from event, example pub/sub lightning message service, clearing intervals or timeout, releasing resources to improve the performance. So example is we are using timer ID, right? Connected callback we have, and we are setting the connected callback time ID, and then we are clearing it. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay. Uh, okay, let's move to the next important question. This is what code we have. So explain the use of Apex trigger for handling large data scales. Apex trigger are used for automation business logic when data changes in Salesforce. When handling large scale data operations such as bulk, insert, delete, it's crucial to write an efficient trigger to avoid governor limit and ensure scalability. Okay. Key consideration for large scale data handling in triggers, bulkification. I mean, these all are the very basic, guys. So hope you are aware now. I should not repeat it again and again. Explain how would you handle a scenarios where multiple external system needs to be updated in real time when a record is changed in Salesforce. So again, this is, I think I am repeating these questions. Earlier I discussed it. Describe a scenario where you need to optimize a trigger due to hitting governor limits. So in Salesforce, high volume processing after update trigger on the order object hitting CPU limit exceed error, and multiple SQL queries inside the loop related to the line item record, DML operation inside a loop. So what we did, bulkify our SQL queries and single query use the sets and maps, optimize DML operations, implemented recursion handling. So we should avoid recursion handling. So this is what we have trigger on after update, and this trigger is on order object, which is custom, and we have one set is which is collecting the order IDs, guys. Okay. So we are taking the order ID, we are checking status is complete, status does not equals to old one. Okay. So then collect the order ID. And after collecting the order ID, what we are doing, we are collecting the all line items, and then after collecting it we are providing the status is shipped on that, and then we are updating it. Okay, so this is the what we did in that. Okay, if a user report or data consistency issue due to trigger failing, how would you troubleshoot and resolve this? First is gather information from the user, second is check debug log for errors, third one is verify the trigger logic, and fourth one is test the trigger in a sandbox, and fifth one is fix the issue, and sixth one is deploy and monitor the fixes. What do you fixes, right? Okay. Now again comes, please write an Apex trigger which should update the last contact date on the account. So basically there is one custom field on the account which is say last date. Okay. So we write this trigger on contact after insert after update. We have one map which is capture the last modified date. Okay, ID is nothing but the contact ID. Okay, against that contact ID we have the date and time fields where we are capturing it. Okay. So if you see this, we have trigger.new and we are capturing here. What we are doing, we are, so we have this map and we are checking if this map contain the account ID, then what we needs to do, just provide the existing date. Okay, and we are checking existing date is does not equals to null, so does not equal to, then is greater than that, then fill this map. Okay, so first time this will be not this will be null, right? So then it will come here and fill this, but second time when it goes it will have the value. Okay, because account had multiple contacts. So this is account to update and accounts this key set, because this key set is nothing but having the account ID, right? And account ID on the iterating this, and what we are doing, we are updating the new account and account ID, and we are just having this particular date, and then we are updating it. Okay, that's all, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. I would like to thank you so much for this, and thank you. Have a great day.